Can you believe it? Colombia has a desert. It's not very big, I can see the edges from where I'm standing, but it's really strange. As you're approaching, you can notice the air humidity drop, and that makes it as hot and dry as you'd expect. Your perception of Colombia is probably clouded by drugs, crime, and guerrilla fighting. And that's fair enough, because Colombia certainly has a colourful recent history. The thing is that Colombia has changed, and amongst cycle travellers, it's often considered their favourite country in Latin America. You're not a mountain animal. How did you even get here? This is the road between Toche and Salento. It's very green, it's quite beautiful. It's also very steep. I'm currently in my first gear. But I'm getting quite confused because there are palm trees everywhere, despite the fact I'm at 3,500 meters. I normally associate palms with the beach. What's going on? You're cycling in one valley and there are no palm trees at all. And then you turn into the next and it's almost all you can see. Sometimes they're growing so closely together, it's like somebody's just got a whole bunch of giant toothpicks and stuck them into the landscape. If you're cycling on a dirt road and all of a sudden there's a concrete and rock pathway, that means the road is exceeding 20% in Colombia. Let's see if I can ride this. Oh, no problem. Ew. I've been deliberating on this for a while now, and I'm afraid you might not like my decision if you're not a little rebellious. So, it is illegal to cycle through the Los Nevados National Park. A large section of the park is also completely off limits due to irregular volcanic activity. Yet, in 2 days, I'm going to pass through the national park and cycle straight into the forbidden area. I know this sounds kind of crazy, plus it's obviously a little bit cheeky and disrespectful too. But in terms of risk, the Colombian Geological Service categorized this volcano as one step up from dormant, stating it's unlikely to erupt in the coming days or weeks. In terms of risk, right now, it's very low. but this could obviously change in the coming months. I could have omitted all of this information out of this video and you would have just enjoyed the scenery. But I think weighing up difficult decisions like this is quite an interesting aspect about what I do. Very wet today, which I'm not enjoying all that much, but I'm hoping that once I climb 1,000 vertical meters, I'll be above the clouds and above the rain. It's 1:30, which means it's go time. So let's sneak past the guards and go into the national park. And hopefully nobody catches me until I get to the other side of the pass. I'm only 1 kilometer down the road and I'm already ankle deep in mud. I did not anticipate this crazy mud this morning. This morning was quite difficult but very rewarding. The hills were quite steep and the road was quite waterlogged, so it made the going pretty tough. I've just had a 2-hour snooze on the side of the road because it was drizzling a bit, and I've lost my beautiful views. We're right up in the clouds now, so hopefully in the next 5 or 6 hours everything will clear and I'll be able to see all the magic. So stoked right now. Look at this. It's one of the most wild landscapes I've ever had the pleasure of cycling through. If I had to ride this road every day for the rest of my life, sign me up. didn't think that cloud cover was going to lift, but absolutely worth breaking into a national park for. I hope you guys forgive me. How cool is this? The landscape is almost entirely black, but then out of nowhere is this crazy gold streak. Okay, this is about as high as we get, folks. It's 4,700 meters high, maybe 13,000 foot. And I'm amazed how good I feel right now. It's probably been 3 or 4 months since I was last at this altitude, so the altitude adaptations must last a while. Good morning. It's 2:51 a.m. and I've just snuck out of the national park. Putting my tent together now and I'm gonna have a second sleep.
Okay, so we're cycling from Vancouver in Canada
and are heading all the way down to the most southern point of Argentina, Ushuaia.
This is Phoebe. Yes, thank you. And Lolo. Phoebe is about 7 years old and Lolo is about 5. We got them both from shelters and yeah, just couldn't leave them behind for so long.
It's certainly more fun.
I think they're a great icebreaker. People always ask about them and it's a really nice, easy way how to connect with the locals.
I think it brings to us more people, like they come to have a look what's in the trailer.
Personally, I don't think we're missing out on anything. We miss some things, but we get so much back from them, so we're not missing out. But there are some things that, some places that are not accessible.
We can go to some national parks. We can't go to some accommodations, just simple things like that. We can't use most of the public transport if needed. So most of the times when we needed to use some sort of transport, we had to hitchbike.
If you visit a city and you might want to go to a museum, you need to find a place where you can leave them and these kind of things.
How do you take dogs with you on a bike trip?
You put them into the trailer and you go.
I'm pulling a trailer where they sit in while we are on the highways or busy roads, and then on the dirt roads or quiet road, they run with us and yeah, they're happy.
They were used to traveling in the trailer before we started this trip because we did some shorter trips in Europe, and then you have to make sure they are vaccinated. They've got their own European pet passports with them. They've got their sunglasses and booties that they hate.
We feed them whatever we can find locally, just dog food, some kibble.
My mission is to find out what I want to do with my life. First of all, know the world a little bit and maybe find a country where we want to live. And if not a country, find some values that we want to have in the country that we want to live in.
shocked. And I never dared dream of such a success. It's more than a just extraordinary. I feel good. I wish I could share this with you.
It's a classic alley denim day today where you find the smallest, nicest looking road on a map, and then the road's great, but it gets smaller and smaller and smaller again until you end up at a gate, and then you're on a horse riding track. I'm sure this trail will take me exactly where I need to go, but it's just going to take a bit more time. Behind me here is the Piedra del Peñol, and it is a 200-meter high rock that seemingly comes out of nowhere. There's this crazy staircase that winds all the way up the side. There's 700 stairs. I don't think I'm going to climb it. It's a tourist trap. There are so many people up there, but the Colombians seem to suggest that it is the best view in the world. So if you're in the area, you probably should. Last night it was raining, so I decided to camp underneath this bridge. But it just goes to show what a fine line it is between being a bicycle tourer and being homeless. I think you'll agree it's a pretty good view though, even if it is a bit noisy. Okay friends, it is time to pin it up to the Caribbean Sea. Is it Caribbean or Caribbean? I can never remember. Anyway, I am on this strange surface that's really, really hard, and it's allowing me to average about 25 kilometers an hour. So if it's only 600 kilometers to the sea, and I'm going this fast, that means I can do 200 kilometers per day. Today is my last day cycling in South America. It's hard to believe I've been traversing this continent for 19 months now. I've been to over 5,000 meters high in 6 different countries, including Bolivia, where I cycled up the highest road in the world. I've also visited the coastline of every country that I've been to, so I really feel like I've done this place justice. If you've been enjoying this video series, let me know in the comments section below, or give this video a like, or consider joining my Patreon. I use those funds to update my camera equipment, which improves the viewing experience for everybody. And good news, I'm using those funds to buy a drone in the next few weeks, so See you in Panama with a drone.